This could be really bad news for the Philippines, to be honest. Hello and welcome back to Living Abroad. In this video, I'm going to talk about a new Philippines law that could mean the end of vlogging for many foreigners in the Philippines. We'll read the law, I'll tell you guys my personal thoughts and how this could actually affect vloggers and the Philippines itself. Here's what I'm talking about. Vloggers are now required to mask images of bystanders in their posts under new guidelines of the National Privacy Commission. This new guideline aims to establish protocols for the protection of data subjects, data and their data privacy rights. The director said that the circular covers the police officers, private security agencies, and even vloggers. The circular states that, quote, vloggers are required to use available technology that can mask images of bystanders, especially children and other vulnerable individuals. They should also have an, quote, appropriate private notice on all their social media platforms. The director noted that the recorder must convey to subject the data being recorded in an understandable language. The recording of the subject or bystander must also not be unduly oppressive. Violators of the circular may face criminal, civil, administrative charges. Meanwhile, the director reminded vloggers who monetize their vlogs to register at the NPC. Violators may be issued a show cause order and face a maximum fine of 50,000 pesos. To register, they may need to go to so-and-so website to register. Whoa, so what does this mean? If you're outside public making a vlog, you must blur out whoever's in the background. This is big news because there's a lot of, even myself, when I do my street interviews, there's a lot of people walking around. It might be in a mall, in a park, somewhere else, people saying hello or whatever, you know, so what I gotta do now, blur their faces every time somebody passes in the camera. Yeah, so I'm gonna tell you guys what I'm gonna do with my vlogs moving forward, but the purpose of this was originally for the police and security agencies, but I guess they said even vloggers, plus it's a guideline, I'm not really sure if it's a law, a lot of unknowns still, and only up to 50,000 pesos. When I say only, I mean it's less than $1,000, worst case scenario for a vlogger like myself. But also, if you're living here, that's a different story. Let's say you got a wife or family, whoever, you can't just take that risk. And furthermore, this can be the perfect ammunition needed for like haters, jealous people to go ahead and try to take your channel down. And it may not affect someone like myself, but there's a lot of bigger channels that would actually be worried about this, right? So, or people that know other people's locations, people don't even know where I'm at right now. So for me, it's not a big deal, but for people that have a house, a family, some kind of business, a reason to be there, right? Someone not like just hopping around to different countries like myself, people that make the Philippines their home base and put out videos as a source of income, it's a big deal. Now, registering your income is not a big deal. I mean, if I have to, I'll go ahead and register. Doesn't mean anything. I still pay taxes to my own country, but this could be big for the government itself to kind of have a track. I think this is not really about vloggers, of course. It's more about the police and security agencies, but it does go about the people that walk around from neighborhoods, and it prevents people from going to people's houses and try to use, like, exploit that situation, which I agree with. Now, at the end of the day, this could be really bad news for the Philippines, to be honest, because if enough big vloggers start complaining about this, the Philippines are already struggling with tourism. This is not going to be another good reason for popular YouTubers to come here and make a video if they have to worry about somebody on the beach or they're showcasing some kind of, if they're trying to highlight the country. So I don't know about this. I feel like if enough pushback gets like towards this agency or guideline, they might change the tune a little bit. So what do you guys think of this whole situation so far? The fact that you have to blur the bystander. Let's go ahead and see if you can find some comments. Someone says, finally, glad the jerks who put clearly embarrassed and shy young girls and women will have to stop. No more video harassment. Yes, of course. So obviously, let me just use my own example. Whenever I do a video, I don't just simply find the prettiest girl, put the camera in her face. I have a conversation beforehand, say I introduce myself. If I have to, I show them the channel. I'll tell them what like the main topic is about. And then I ask their permission and consent. And they obviously over 18 years old and all that stuff. So yeah, some people don't have those like guidelines like I do, for example. Some people are just jerks and assholes or whatever. So one more thing I want to mention. If I wasn't making a video, I'll be like a YouTuber. I'll be like all about this. Hell yeah, I don't want my face on one random video. So I'm not so much against this rule. So don't get me wrong. I think it is a positive thing for the whole country, but I do see some downside to it as well. Not just from my perspective, just from the country's perspective. You don't want to be labeled as like a super strict country. I think the Vitaly situation did not help a lot of people, of course. And I think this is mainly to like stop just some of the nonsense that's going on. I don't think somebody that's just making a positive or something normal, somebody walks in the background, they're not going to try to enforce this, right? I don't think so, at least not right now. And that's the other thing, enforcement. Like, how closely are they monitoring this, right? So And there's a lot of laws that don't really get, like, you know, addressed. Is that the word, addressed? They don't get carried out, right? There are laws, for example, don't give money to the homeless kids or whatever, but I've never seen somebody get in trouble for buying somebody a snack or giving them a few pesos or whatever. Another person says, I'm not a fan of the walk down the street videos, especially those zooming in on people that clearly don't want to be filmed. Others that make videos interacting with Filipinos and that they are very respectful of the people and the culture. If they are not able to continue, I will miss them. Yes, once again, this is the type of people that just take, like, they go to the most underdeveloped areas or some poor families and just pretty much walk into their home sometimes. It's ridiculous. So yeah, definitely not that kind of nonsense. Also, children, I make sure I don't put any kids on any of my videos, and if there are any kids, especially younger than like 12 or I don't know the age, but like kids, right? I try to like blur or put like a smiley face under, whatever, even right now, right? So this is the type of things I think they're trying to like stop. Also, basically have a guideline for people to not try to abuse the system or the kind people of the Philippines. But yeah, people are smiling or whatever doesn't necessarily mean they want to be on camera and displayed on the YouTube for the whole world to see. And lastly, someone says the only reason a lot of people come to the Philippines and spend their money is because they've seen it on YouTube. That's what happened to me and everybody I know. And we spend a lot of money in the Philippines. It's good for tourism. Yes, I don't know any other country, Southeast Asia, at least personally, that has this type of rule in place. So if I have to take my business somewhere else, if I have to go film in other countries, I mean, I already do. So personally, I see what this guy's talking about. YouTube videos draw a lot of attention and eyes to this country. And if YouTubers cannot do what they're doing, at least the normal ones, right? It may actually hurt the Philippines, I think, in the long run. That's obviously could be argued. I'm not here, I don't know right and wrong. This is just my personal opinions. But moving forward for me, I don't know what I'm going to do, to be honest. I don't know if I'm going to completely stop making YouTube videos. It's not a big enough deterrent for me personally. Like, it's not going to scare me away from doing anything. I'm not going to blur people's faces in the background. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say to tell you I'm going to, every single person that walks behind me. But I've already been kind of like doing this anyway. I don't put anybody without the consent. If someone doesn't want to be seen, I clearly don't include them, right? When I do my interviews, I make sure it's some kind of a neutral background, have no like behind a school or some dumb stuff like that, playground or some nonsense. And I don't try to disrespect the country or its people in any way. So personally, unless somebody's jealous of me and they make a complaint about my video, I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. Other people though, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to act. Leave your comments down below. What do you think is going to be the impact of this new guideline? Is it even a law? Is it mainly for the police and security officers? There's a lot of unknowns right here. Do you think people are going to care? Do you think it's going to make any kind of difference or effect on what's going on? Or do you think this is just simply a guideline to try to deter some of those weird, like, nuanced streamers, right? So nuance, nuisance, I don't know that word, man. Nuance and nuisance. It's two separate words, right? Anyway, so I know you're going to give me shit for that in the comment section. So let's go ahead and summarize exactly what this law means. In summary, vloggers must blur or mask the faces of bystanders, especially children and vulnerable individuals, unless they give consent. This includes tourists or expats filming in crowded places like markets, festivals, or streets. Notice requirement. Vloggers are required to display a privacy notice on all the social media platforms they use. They also must inform people being filmed about the recording in a language they understand, and consent of non-oppressiveness. Recording should not be intrusive or coercive. Filming private individuals in uncomfortable situations or without implied consent could lead to complaints. And once again, the penalties are fines of up to 50,000 pesos, a show cause order, and possible civil, administrative, or criminal charges. Under the Data Privacy Act of 2012, violations can be reported by anyone. So will this be strictly applied to foreigners? Most likely yes, especially in high-profile or viral content cases when children, schools, or sensitive locations are involved. If a complaint is filed by a bystander, and that is my biggest concern, because anybody can file a complaint against you, and you're pretty much screwed if the national police or whoever wants to go ahead and take that further. You know, a jealous girlfriend, a jealous neighbor, somebody that wants to bring you down for whatever reason, a hater, a troll, anybody that just don't like you or your face or your content can go ahead and make this complaint. That is it. Go ahead and leave your thoughts down below regarding any of the stuff I covered. I'll see you guys next time.